everyone. Welcome to FinTalk World's talk show presented by Click of the Creatives. Today, we have Mr. Wael ElGendy. I tried my level best to pronounce that name. Mr. ElGendy results driven. He's actually a result-driven executive with 30 years of experience. Accomplishing and exceeding financial goals, overseeing the investment of funds, and assessing and minimizing associated risks of organizations like Nestlé, utilizing a unique blend of accounting and financial as well as business operations management attributes. It's a mix of all. And throughout his journey, his career, he's built a vital track record of increasing profitability margins, which matters for almost all the organization on the planet Earth, and exceeding top line performance and formulating strong and cohesive management structures. So you see, we have a lot to understand and learn from him today. So without further ado, let's welcome him. Hello, Mr. Gandhi. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Hello. How are you? How are you, everyone? Thank you so much for this interesting introduction and the proper pronunciation of my first name, which is not an easy one for a non-Arab person.
No, sir. I'll try my level best, and I did. But thank you very much for joining us for the session. It's our pleasure, and it's our viewers' pleasure as well. Hope we'll get a lot of nuggets today after this session. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Finance and control is the keyword that I found when I was, sort of just learning about you, reading about you. How would the finance, I mean, for me and for my viewers, how would the finance and control function add value in an organization?
Let me put it like this. I mean, in the past, in the old good days, finance were about just balancing the books. I mean, recording every transaction that happens in a company between debit and credit, assets, liabilities, profit and loss. And then this level of understanding has evolved a lot during the past 20, 30 years, by which finance and control function became very important for any organization to add value. I always give the example of the co-pilot who is sitting next to the pilot in a plane, who is always providing the pilot with lots of information and about what happened and what is going to happen also, and help him or help her to take corrective measures during the journey. And the ultimate objective, of course, of both of them is to land safely and on time, because to me, the passengers are like the shareholders and the plane is the organization. Then the pilot is the CEO and the co-pilot is the CFO responsible for the finance and control function. So if it happens at its best, then everything will be fine, plane will be safe, landing on time and in the destination. But if this did not happen as it should be, then there are many options that can happen. Either the plane will never land, God forbid, or it will land late, or it will land in a different destination, which of course we don't want to do. So the evolved role of finance and control function nowadays is all about dealing with the past, but also managing the future and the present. And when I say managing the future and the present, I mean that there must be a proper plan for any organization, and the finance and control function is always feeding the organization and the top management with all what can happen in order to achieve this plan, if not overachieve the planned objectives. So this is basically how I look at the finance and control function these days in our world.
So brilliant, sir. If I may ask a candid question between our discussion, finance and control, how really it helped in sort of, I mean, I know that no organization was really prepared for COVID, the pandemic era, but how the organizations really build themselves in that era for the future, or, learning from the past. Did this happen directly with the organizations?
The first thing that happened to all of us, I mean, before COVID, if you come and tell me that you will work from home, I will tell you, sorry, this is not possible. But we as human beings are always flexible, and what happened is that we were somehow forced to work from home, and it worked quite nicely in most of the functions, including finance and control. And how this impacted the finance and control function, of course, high tech and proper internet connections, proper tools like Zoom, Teams, those ones have evolved during the lockdown period, and have helped also finance and control function to perform their tasks even remotely outside the office. Not only this, if you look at it, most of the big companies, they decided to downsize their office spaces, which of course this leading to a better saving and a better control of their fixed cost, and of course higher profitability, because prior to COVID, no one was thinking that you can work outside the office. Everybody was coming to the office, utilizing their own space and consuming electricity, power, whatever you name it. But nowadays, with this work remotely concept, companies have decided to downsize their offices and hence reducing their rent cost. And if they own the building, then they will reduce the running cost of big space of their building. So that has helped in a way to achieve better profitability, but at the same time, the efficiency and the communication have been always very good, and work never impacted. I mean, I take my case in the company I'm working for. We found it even much better sometimes to work from home, because we are more productive. We don't want to use the time. We wanted to use the time of commuting in being productive and making better things.
That's very beautifully put, so ElGendy. Thank you very much. Talking about, just dwelling down into this field of work, what are the different challenges, if from your standpoint, if I may ask, what are challenges and opportunities that you have or had faced while working in this particular field?
Okay, always consider a challenge is an opportunity, meaning once there is a challenge ahead of me, I try to turn this to an opportunity. And there are many challenges, of course, when it comes to finance and control. One of them is the volatility in the prices of raw materials, packing materials, freight cost. You see what is happening in Europe because of the war that is going on, and the tremendous increase in freight cost. So if an organization is importing raw packing materials or even locally sourcing them, they will find easily that prices are going up. And you, as a finance and control manager, a CFO, you cannot just stand still. You have to quickly review your cost and hence review your pricing strategy. When I say pricing strategy, some people think that whenever there is an increase in the cost of raw and packing material or cost of freight, we have immediately to increase our prices and pass this to the consumer. The answer is yes and no. Yes, you have to do this, but no, because you have to look at your competitors also, how they are pricing their products, because you might take some decisions by pricing highly than your competitors, and then suddenly you lose your market share and you are out of the market, which means that you have to look to other elements. Other elements meaning that you might look at your fixed cost. What are you doing with your fixed cost? Are you renting a very high or very sophisticated office? Can you move to another office that gives you a proper space and a proper working place, and then you save money? Do you need to look at your structure as an organization? There are many things. Once you have a challenge, you can turn them into opportunities.
Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, I was really, I mean, honestly, the keyword as finance and control was never passed my eyeballs, so that's why I'm just dwelling down into that, bits and pieces. People like me who really, let's say, if people like me who wants to pursue finance and control field, and you have an experience of like 30 years, more than 3 decades now of it, what kind of advice would you like to give to young people? I mean, like people like me in the finance and control field, or who want to pursue finance control field?
First of all, I mean, 50% goes to the education. You need to have a proper education about accounting, about finance. Once this is done, you need to move to the remaining 50%, which is the practical life. Practical life is full of things, meaning that you join an organization, you join the team of finance, you need to continue reading, you need to be aware of what is happening around you, around the world. You need to always keep updated with the changes and the updates of the international accounting standards, and as well as the international financial reporting standards. because this is the core activity of any finance and control person. You need to find a good mentor. This is very important, someone who has the experience, who can guide you during your journey, because we all have graduated from university with zero practical experience in life, and without the support of others, maybe we would have never made it. In addition to that, there are many platforms on the internet where you can become part of a group, of a chat, or people who are meeting every now and then, exchanging ideas about what is going in the field of finance and control. So learning and practical learning is the first 50% through a good school, and then the remaining 50% will be about working, socializing, interacting with others, and networking, and keeping the sharpen the saw. I call it like this, that you are always updated with whatever is happening around you and in the international accounting and financial reporting standards.
This change is the only constant thing. I mean, now it's updating yourself is the only constant thing, I believe. As a professional, Mr. ElGendy, I'm again pressurizing on that fact that finance and control field, and having experience of more than 3 decades into it, you must have faced a lot of challenges, in that. I mean, we talked about challenges and opportunities that you have had faced, but how do you really overcome them? The solutions. How do you counter all the challenges that come across to you?
I mean, first of all, I would advise everyone not to panic whenever you face an issue, because if you panic, then most probably you will lose the ability of addressing the issue in a proper way. So God created the problem and created the solution to this problem. So you need just to be calm, think of it, analyze the problem, all the dimensions of the problem, consult others, because we have kind of a knowledge level, but it doesn't mean that we have all the knowledge that we need. So we need to consult others, either within our organization or within our community. You need to listen to some ideas, and you need to share it with people. And you need, at the end of the day, if you are the decision maker, you see what is the best solution to this problem, to sort it out. And time is very important. When I say calm, it doesn't mean you take your time for long. No, do it rapidly, because you don't want to leave this problem to grow further. Do it, but in a calm and professional way.
Thank you very much, Mr. Linda. I get that goes for almost all the genres that we work around. I mean, all the professionals that we are looking at and going on now around the globe. What do you suggest to the individuals who want to take up this profession? We talked about people who are already in the profession, those young professors. What's your advice? Now, what's your advice for those people who really want to look at it and, come in this field of finance and control?
They need to find a good school. There are many schools around the world in that they are teaching finance and control. First of all, you need to have the proper level of education. This is the foundation of whatever he will she do in the future. So this is the starting point. And during the study, also try to do as many internships as you can, because that will give you a very good mix between the theory, which is the learning at school, and the practicality of it, which is doing an internship in any organization. Even if it is so small organization, going out to that part of the world will make you learn something. After that, continue looking for a job, continue sharpening your soul, continue reading, continue being updated about what is happening, not only regarding finance, but also what is happening in the world, because anything that happens around us is being translated into money. And money, of course, impacts finance and control community.
And that's the practical thing, Mr. ElGendy. Thank you very much for raising that as well. Last question that I have for this session. I mean, I understand you are a very busy bee, and you got some time for this session. What time management is an issue with young brats like me as well, and some of the experience as well. I always tend to understand, how do you manage your your time, not just in a professional way, but in a personal way. How do you get time for yourself or out of your profession? Uh, Having such experience, you're not sitting at a level of an associate. Now you're sitting at a place where everybody looks up to, and a signature matters a lot for you, for us, of yours. So how do you really manage your time, or what's your suggestion for people like me? How can we manage our time better?
That's a good question, and frankly, there is no right answer to this because life is full of challenges. I mean, as you rightly said, you can be busy at your work, and of course for the personal life. In the beginning of my career, I devoted big part of my time to my job, which is normal if I want to grow the ladder. So, but after a while, you realize that you are becoming better in terms of time organization. So my advice is set a time frame for everything you do in your life. So if you are to play sport, if you want to go to the gym, set the time and make it happen. Whatever happens around you, do your best to go to the gym at the time you set. If you want to go out with friends, set the time and try to do it, which means you have to be very efficient in your office. So if it is 8 hours, make the maximum out of the 8 hours. Set the time. Don't accept too many meetings in the day, because you need some time to go through your email to do your job. So try to split it in a proper way that you see that between meetings, between reading emails, between doing your core job, and of course your personal life is very important. Because if you don't take care of yourself, of your body, definitely you cannot become a professional finance and control person.
It sounds like you're directly telling this to me. I mean, this is coming like a lesson to me, for me, so Gandhi. Thank you very much, sir, for this beautiful session. This has been a lovely session so far. And, to formally thank you, I mean, thank you so much for sharing such great insights with us today. And we look forward to having a chat with you again in the future on some other trending topics in the international finance industry. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this great opportunity.
Pleasure all us, sir. Thank you very much. And now to acknowledge our viewers, if you like this video, I want you to like this video exactly like it, share this video, and click on that red button and subscribe to Click of the Creators YouTube channel or FinTalk's YouTube channel to appreciate what we do. You have more coming in from industry leaders like Mr. Wael ElGendy. Thank you very much. This was Sagar for FinTalk World, signing off.